Do you ever wake up on a Monday morning and think, why am I not retired yet? We've all had those moments, feeling the weight of another work week and wondering why we're still working. But what if that feeling is more than just a passing thought? What if it's a sign that it's time to seriously consider retirement? Retirement isn't just about leaving your job, it's about taking control of the rest of your life. But how do you know when the time is right? In this video, we'll walk through 6 questions that can help you decide if it's time to hang up your work boots and start living the life you've been dreaming of. If you find yourself nodding along, it might be time to start making a plan. Retirement is a big decision. It's not just about money or age, it's about how you want to spend the rest of your days. Of course, working another year can give you more financial security, but no one is getting any younger. Eventually, you'll have to ask yourself, when should I take the leap? That's where these 6 questions come in. Answer them honestly, and you'll have a much clearer idea of whether or not you're ready to retire. Let's dive into the first question that everyone should ask themselves. Are you putting off living your life? Question 1. Have you been putting off living your life? This might be the toughest question to ask yourself. Are you putting your life on hold, waiting for the perfect time to enjoy it? Think about it. How many times have you said, I'll do that when I retire? Whether it's traveling the world, learning a new hobby, or just spending time with family, many of us push our dreams into the future, thinking that someday we'll get to it. But here's the harsh truth. Someday might never come. You have 7 days in a week, and someday isn't one of them. If you've been deferring the things that matter to you, like ticking off your bucket list, it's time to take stock of your life. Maybe you're thinking, I'll work now and I'll enjoy life later. But none of us are guaranteed a tomorrow. This isn't about being pessimistic, it's about being realistic. If you're someone who's figured out how to balance work with your passions, that's great. But for most people, it's easy to fall into the trap of waiting too long. If this sounds like you, it might be time to stop waiting and start living. Question 2. Do you want more time with family and friends? There's one thing you can't get more of: time. We only have 24 hours in a day, and if you're spending most of that time working, that leaves very little for the people who matter most. If you find yourself missing family events, feeling guilty about not seeing loved ones, or losing touch with friends, it's a sign that work is taking up too much of your life. Family and personal connections bring meaning to life. Retirement could give you the freedom to strengthen those relationships, reconnect with old friends, and spend quality time with the people who matter most. Think about it. What's more important? Finishing another work project or being there for your grandchild's birthday? If you've been feeling the sting of missing out on life with your loved ones, it might be time to consider retiring. Work will always be there, but moments with family and friends, those moments are irreplaceable. Question 3. Do you know what you'll do after you retire? Many people are so focused on getting to retirement that they forget to ask, what's next? Once you retire, what are you going to do with all that time? It's a bigger question than you might think. Some retirees find themselves feeling lost, anxious, or even depressed because they don't have a plan. If you don't know how you want to spend your days after retirement, it might be worth taking some time to figure that out before you make the leap. Having hobbies, goals, or a clear idea of how to spend your time will make the transition to retirement much smoother. But if you already have a clear vision, whether it's traveling, volunteering, or finally starting that garden, you're probably ready to take the plunge. Knowing how you'll spend your time is key to enjoying retirement. Question 4. Is your health getting worse? Let's be honest, work can be tough on your health. We sit at desks for hours, staring at screens, and by the end of the day, we're exhausted. Maybe your back aches, your shoulders are stiff, or you've developed sleep problems. I know people who have been carrying stress in their bodies for decades, aches and pains they can directly trace to long hours at work. Over time, those health issues pile up. Poor sleep, high blood pressure, stress, anxiety, they can take a toll on your quality of life. And when we're working so hard, it's easy to neglect our health. We skip exercise, eat whatever's convenient, and rarely spend time outside. If you've noticed that your health isn't what it used to be, and work is part of the reason, it might be time to prioritize yourself. Retirement could give you the freedom to focus on getting healthy again, time for exercise, rest, and enjoying the simple pleasures in life. Your body might be telling you something important. If your health is suffering because of work, it's time to consider stepping away. Question 5. Can you work less? Some people are lucky enough to work for companies that offer part-time hours or phased retirement. These options let you ease into retirement without jumping in all at once. But let's be real, not every company offers that. For most of us, it's either full-time work or nothing. If your job doesn't offer a way to scale back, there are still a couple of things you can do. You might be able to find part-time work somewhere else, or even pick up some freelance work in your field. This lets you keep earning money without the stress of a full-time job. But if your health is suffering, or if you've reached a point where work just feels too overwhelming, maybe it's time to ask yourself if retirement is the better option. Another thing to consider: have you been giving 110% for years? Maybe you're coming in early, staying late, or going the extra mile. Great for building a career. But after a while, you have to ask, who am I doing this for? If you can't work less or don't want to, then retirement might be the next step. Question 6. Can you afford to retire? This is the big one. Can you actually afford to retire? It's not just about whether you have enough money in the bank. It's about knowing if your savings, pension, or investments will support the lifestyle you want in retirement. If you haven't done the math yet, now's the time. You can hire a financial planner to help, or you can use online resources to figure out if your savings will be enough. But whatever you do, don't put in your notice before running the numbers. You don't want to jump into retirement only to find out that you can't afford it. If the math adds up and you feel financially secure, then congratulations, you're ready to retire. But if not, you might need to keep working a little longer or make some adjustments to your retirement plan. Conclusion. So, there you have it. 6 questions to help you figure out if you're ready to retire. If you've answered yes to most of these questions, it might be time to start planning your retirement and enjoy the life you've been waiting for. But remember, retirement isn't for everyone. If you're not quite there yet, keep working, keep planning, and your time will come. If you're curious about how long can you live after 70, you can tell by looking at your 6 signs. Watch the previous video to learn more. See you there.